We all want to keep our personal information like home address, phone number, etc. away from stalker, evil people, or just anyone in general. But for internet users, do you believe that could search for your personal information in just a click? Hi guys, this is Vuong and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about surveillance in today's society. The thought of making this video came to me after a friend of mine asking why I'm taping my webcam. And I've been taping my webcam for so long, and this is because, you know, how the government is actually spying on you through it. And yes, that's actually the truth, but we'll get to that later on. Anyway, I finally get to research more about surveillance as a whole. So what is surveillance actually is? First, let's start with the basis. According to David Leon in his book Surveillance Study, The Overview, surveillance is the monitoring of behavior, activities, or other information for the purpose of influencing, managing, directing, or protecting people. Back in the day where technology is not around, when the government wants to monitor a suspect, then a real human spy or a private investigator would be hired to do the job. Surveillance was a labor-intensive job before the development of technology. For example, if a country where half of the populations are suspect, then the other half would have to be private investigator for the government in order to monitor all of the suspect. But then come the technology, now everyone that is using electronic devices has the potentials of being watched by the government. And there are many types of surveillance have appeared after the developments of technology, but the two most well-known ones are technical surveillance and digital surveillance. Technical surveillance is a type of surveillance most people knows about, which is the use of CCTV to watch over people by your local authorities, for example. And digital surveillance, which is the collecting of data stored on hard drive or being transferred through a computer network. Digital surveillance is also the monitoring of activities of electronic devices. Good thing about surveillance is that it's helped the government to deter suspect criminals and improve public safety. However, using surveillance also have a downside. The footage and the data that are being collected could be abused easily if wrong people have other access to them. Our personal information could be used for bad purpose like scamming others by fake ID, using your own personal information, stalking, or even harassment. The effectiveness of using surveillance is very questionable. What I mean by that is using surveillance do claim to improve safety, yet if people want to commit crime and they only stop doing that because they know that there is a camera out there watching them, then they would choose another place where there is no camera or like the blind spot of the surveillance camera to do all the criminal stuff. It is very questionable also since many places that install security surveillance camera for public interest, yet the people who are supposed to be watching are negligent and unable to fulfill their job. There are many ways to monitor people. One of them is through social media. Most people don't think of social media as a type of surveillance because users don't realize that they are surveilling others or they are being surveilled. Technically speaking, we all try to modify our behaviors to the nines if we know that we are being under surveillance. And same goes to social media. We always want to put our best pictures and best look onto our social media accounts because we know, maybe not everyone, but anyone could see it. Maybe your ex who might or might not stalk you, your crush, or even your future spouses, and you do want to give good impression or like showing off to those people. However, we don't really use the word surveillance on social media, and that's the reason why a lot of people don't think of social media as a type of surveillance, but we use the word stalking. And honestly, some of us are all guilty of stalking a crush online, and that seems pretty normal, but then the fact that it doesn't have any physical activities linked to it doesn't mean that it would be less dangerous or creepy. There are many websites that collect data of internet users and put them on their website. Many personal information that you think is fine to put on your social media, like your home address, your family members that you put into your family member list on Facebook, your phone number, your workplace and occupations. Anything that you could imagine is on their website, as long as you put them into your social media. And the worst part is, those informations are public. Anyone could have the access to the website and make it easier for your personal information to be stolen. Unfortunately, when you agree to create an account on a certain social media or downloading an app, you have already unknowingly agreed on sharing your personal information. We finally get to know more about the government mass surveillance through Edward Snowden, a whistleblower who legally classified information about the global surveillance. He revealed that the governments are being able to intercept telephones and text messages. In a TED Talk video called Government Surveillance, This is Just the Beginning by Christopher Sakoyan, he mentions about the 2011 Arab Spring, which the government's afraid the revolution would spread, and then they have people who would spark a revolution surveil. Since they know the government can wire our phone activity, they use Skype to communicate, thinking that it is immune to the intercept. However, they're wrong. The government now can not just intercept your phone calls and text messages, but also hack into the computers and enable your webcam, your microphone, and steal your document from your computer, track your internet activities, anything. Doing this also affects our freedom of speech and what we want to express, especially in countries with authoritarian government. It is true that the governments use surveillance technology to watch over suspect and people who has the potential to commit crime. But since everyone has the potential to commit crime, no matter your gender or age, anyone or everyone is being watched by the government. There are many cases when terrorism has been stopped or people's lives have been saved thanks to the presence of CCTVs in the public place. At the same time, there are many private cameras placed on property with the malicious intent. What's important is to know that who's regulate those cameras. We need to draw a line between surveillance for public interest or just plain harassment. Well, in the end, I guess that we are the last generation that could understand and feel what the word privacy actually means. Because a few years from now, maybe surveillance would be everywhere. On the street, in your house, in front of your TV. Anyway, and remember, don't do weird stuff in front of your laptop or in front of your phones, your tablets, and remember to always be careful of what you're saying in front of your electronic devices. And that's it for today's video. Hope that you understand more about surveillance after watching this video. See you in the next one.